Yo guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. My name is DJ Kiz Walsh and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Ultimate Ears Megablast. So I am a massive fan of having a really good portable speaker in your house because music is a massive part of my life. I'm a DJ, I listen to music almost every single day, and for me anyway, having a good speaker is somewhere you should invest your money. Because as somebody that loves music and loves to listen to music on a daily basis, I think it's important to be able to enjoy that music to the fullest. And I'm guessing the fact that you're watching this video, you're probably the same. You probably want to invest in a really good speaker so that you can enjoy it around the house, so that you can take it outside when you're having a barbecue, or you can just listen to music when you're relaxing in your living room. Whatever that may be, you've come to this video because you want to see a quick review. So I personally own a JBL Extreme 2. I actually did a review on it about a year ago. I'll leave that review in the description. I'll also leave it in the I button in the corner. I personally love my JBL Extreme 2, and when I came to buying that, this at the time wasn't out on the market, so I didn't have this as competition to the JBL Extreme 2. Now for me, although they are very similar priced, they are two completely different speakers because the positives and the negatives of each speaker kind of counteract each other. But in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the positives and the negatives of this speaker. I'm going to be telling you my opinion on whether I think you should buy one. So stick around for the rest of the video if you're interested. So first things first, this speaker retails for around £160, which actually sits it on the upper end of the portable speaker market. Now, you can obviously get speakers that are more expensive than that, but then they start to become a lot larger, a lot heavier. For me, this price bracket gives you the best combination of a good price and being portable. So let's start off. The first thing that you noticed about the Megablast is the way it looks. It stands upright and it looks quite powerful. It's quite a small speaker considering the competitors like the JBL Extreme 2 and other speakers in that price range. But I've got to say, for the size of this thing, it gives out an incredible sound. Build quality is incredibly durable. I genuinely think you could probably throw this thing at the wall, you could pick it up and there wouldn't even be a scratch on it. This thing is like a brick. And of course that is good depending on how you want to use it. For me anyway, that does come with its own negatives as well. You know, when you have such a good build quality, it means that you're consuming all of those softer parts, and for me that actually comes with a couple of drawbacks. But the Megablast is also waterproof, so whether you're having a pool party or you're just having a swim in the back garden, it doesn't matter if you get a few splashes on that as you're trying to change the track or up in the volume or you're turning it off, or whether you accidentally leave it out in the rain for a little bit of time. This thing is going to survive any sort of water splash and waterproof damage. The battery life for the Megablast is actually around 16 hours, which I think sits in line with its rival speakers. So it definitely doesn't put it at an advantage here, but also no disadvantage either. The good thing about the Megablast is it actually comes in 6 different colors. So no matter what your personality is like, depending on where you're going to put the speaker, you might want to get a certain color to maybe fit the colors of your living room or something like that. 6 different colors is a lot of options, and the colors are also very, very bright too. I personally prefer the black one because I feel like you can almost put it anywhere. It doesn't matter what color a room is, and for me it looks a little bit more like professional, looks a little bit more techie. That's why I like the black one, but there's definitely a lot of colors to choose from. Now, one massive bonus to this speaker compared to the other speakers in the same price range is that it comes with built-in Alexa. Now, I personally am not a massive fan of Alexa. I don't really use it, but I know a lot of people do, and it definitely comes with some advantages of using Alexa. You know, it's really cool just to be able to say, Alexa, play ... Now, for me, as somebody that doesn't use Alexa, that is a bit of a useless feature for me. Now, but of course, if you use Alexa on a daily basis, that is going to be a massive, massive bonus for you. That is probably going to swing in your decision at the moment towards getting one of these. For me, one of the negatives about this speaker is that once you have the volume past halfway, Alexa actually struggles to hear you. So you could be shouting at the top of your voice. If this thing is on full volume, because it is so loud, Alexa just won't be able to hear you. and it'll be a little bit of a pointless exercise having Alexa on there if you're going to play it at full volume. Now, of course, at like a nice lower volume where you're just cruising, listening to a bit of music, Alexa can hear you every single time, so that's not an issue. It's just worth bearing in mind that once you go past half the way in the volume settings, you're gonna be getting some struggles with Alexa understanding what you're saying. But if you're not a fan of Alexa and you just want that really good sound, you can also mute Alexa so that she's never listening to what you're saying. So it doesn't matter, you know, like sometimes you'll say something like Alexis, like a car, and all of a sudden Alexa goes, yes, what would you like? You can turn that off if that's something that you're not interested in. Another massive thing about the Megablast is it actually comes with the Ultimate Ears app, where you can actually connect this thing to the Wi-Fi, and you can also tweak the EQs independently. So if you like your music to be a little bit more bass heavy, or you like your singing, your vocals to be a little bit more crisp, you can edit that in the app so that you can get those EQs to your liking. Now with Alexa means that you can also stream music. Of course, when you say Alexa, play Drake, it will jump to one of the streaming softwares available. Now there's actually loads and loads of streaming services available on this speaker. So for me anyway, I'm a Spotify user. Spotify is available on this Megablast, so that is definitely a massive bonus. So now let's talk about the sound, probably the most important bit about the Megablast. So this thing, as I said earlier, is loud. It actually measures up to 93 decibels, which is Ultimate Ears' loudest speaker. This thing easily fills up a medium-sized room with a lot of noise. Once you start getting the room a bit bigger, it starts to get drowned out a little bit by the walls, but just in any room in just a regular sized house, this thing will sound very, very loud, and it'll sound very, very crisp. Another good thing is that the Megablast manages to avoid this distortion even at the highest volume, which is something that even the best speakers in the business can't handle. Once you have this thing maxed out, all the EQs up, all the volumes up, this thing still does not distortion. So that is definitely a massive bonus for the Megablast. And something very unique about the Megablast, and this is something that I personally like, is that it actually has 360-degree sound. So the speakers fill up the room from every single direction. So it doesn't matter whereabouts in the room you're playing this, whether it's in the corner, whether it's on a table in the middle of the room will feel full with the sound of the Megablast. And another thing I like about the Megablast is each band of EQ actually has its own diaphragm. So again, when you tweak those EQs in the app, you're actually tweaking those individual diaphragms that are built into the speaker. Now, I've only pretty much said good things about the Megablast so far, but it does come, in my opinion, with a few drawbacks. I am not personally a massive fan of the design of the Megablast. I prefer a more old school speaker, you know, one that is kind of horizontal rather than vertical. This definitely comes with its own positives, but for me and what I like, the design of this thing isn't quite what I like. But of course, that is all relative. That is all down to your opinion. What do you like your speakers to look like? I'm sure there's some people watching this video, they'll look at this and think it looks beautiful. And you know, fair play to you. It's all about your opinion, is what you like. I prefer different speakers, you know, than this looks, but it's still got a good design. It's just, for me anyway, not as pretty as some of the other speakers that are in the same sort of price range. And one massive downside for me about this speaker is that the low end, so the bass frequencies, aren't as good as speakers in the same sort of price range. So my JBL Extreme 2 is on the low end so much more powerful. Bass just feels like it fills the room so much better. Now this thing, I would say, is louder than the JBL Extreme 2 in terms of the highs and the mids. But for me and the type of music I like to listen to, dance music, techno, tech house, that sort of music, it's all about the bass frequencies. It's all about that kick drum. And for me as a DJ, in my opinion, this just doesn't deliver the same sort of punch like the other speakers in the same sort of price range do, like the JBL Extreme 2. Now personally, I'm also not a fan of the super simple design of the Megablast. For me, only having 2 buttons on the front and 1 button on the top is a little bit boring, I'll be honest. I'm a fan of having more control over the speaker itself on the actual speaker. Like, I know you can go into the app on your phone and you can tweak things on the phone itself, but for me, I like having all those buttons on deck. And you know, other speakers at the same sort of price range do feature more control on the speaker itself. Again, this can be seen as an advantage, you know, especially if you're not a very techie person and you know, the big buttons that this has may be a bonus to you, especially if you're an older person, you're not really bothered about tech. You can't really go wrong with the plus and the minus on this thing. I mean, it's pretty obvious which button turns it up and which button turns it down. So again, it can be seen as a positive. For me, I'm not a fan of the super simple design, although some other people may be. So now that we've talked about the few things that I don't like about it, let's talk about some of the positives and we'll round off the end of this video. So for me, probably the best thing about the Megablast is the super compact design that delivers a very loud amount of volume. So considering the size of this speaker, and I'll hold it just here in my hands for you, considering the size of this speaker, it delivers a very, very high amount of volume. And another positive is that it sits in a good price range for the amount of volume and the amount of battery life that it delivers. For me, it sits perfectly on level with its rival competitors in terms of those features, and it's hoping that it's the other features like the Alexa, like the super simple design, that actually sells it to people. Obviously, we mentioned this before, but this is a super useful device for Alexa users. And another good thing, as we mentioned earlier, is this thing is so durable, it's so rugged. You could throw this in your backpack, you can take this, you know, hiking with you, you can go to a pool party, you can just chuck this down on the desk. No matter what you do to it, it's gonna survive because it's built like a machine. So overall, do I think that you should buy an Ultimate Ears Megablast? For me, it depends, okay? If you're an Alexa user, then it's without a doubt, this is the speaker for you, 100%. If, however, you're somebody that likes bassier kind of music, then I would personally look elsewhere, something like the JBL Extreme 2. And the reason for that is that although this does have a high amount of volume and you're going to enjoy the music you're listening to, if you're looking for a more punchier sound in that low end, then this doesn't quite hit the same levels as the rival competitors in the same sort of price range do. Now, it doesn't mean that it's a bad speaker. It is a fantastic speaker, and I definitely recommend, if you are thinking about this and you like the positives of this and you're happy accepting those couple of little negatives it has, then definitely buy one. And if you are interested, I'll leave a link to where I got this one from in the description below, so you know that it's a good seller. And thank you very much for watching the video. If it helped you, please drop a like rating on the video. Also, subscribe to the channel for more videos and more reviews just like this one. I hope you have a good day, and yeah, I will catch you later. Bye-bye.